If you're listening to this in the car and you're on your way home,
we'll be in
turn
your
around
house.
because we're in your house.
We're in your house. Welcome back to the Horror Junkies podcast for a bonus episode this week as me and Pat tackle a movie that's fucking confusing masses worldwide, Hereditary. Who shall we go first? I guess we'll just do some general fucking shit for this one. So, Hereditary was released, 2 weeks ago? Last week? Last week. It currently has a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Patrick, that's good for you.
Yep.
This movie is the first theatrical debut of Ari Aster, I want to say, the director.
Yeah, he did a bunch of shorts, but this is like his first theatrical.
Full-length theatrical release. He wrote and directed this movie. And just a quick synopsis for all of you who don't know what Hereditary is and would like to know more. It's a drama horror mystery, and it follows after the family matriarch passes away. A grieving family is haunted by a tragic and disturbing occurrences and begin to unravel dark secrets. Now, just want to give you guys a quick little heads up. This is going to be a spoiled review. This movie's been out long enough.
Spoilers alert.
Spoils alert. Okay? So if you haven't seen this movie, do not listen to this part of the episode or our new episode where I can't.
But if you haven't seen the movie, you keep watching, well, sorry.
Sorry. I'm just going to start this off with I really enjoyed this movie. I love the sound design, the cinematography of this movie. It has a batshit storyline that makes you really think about what's going on. There's a lot of times that you really don't understand if it's real or if it's in the main character's head.
Yeah.
I like the
say ambience. I fucking dare you.
The ambience. No. I really liked how this movie. It was long. It's a slow burn. This movie is the definition of a slow burn. You feel it's slow. Okay, you can't disagree with that part. It's slow, but it's a good slow in the sense of like things are happening.
It's fucking stupid.
And didn't listen.
I'm just kidding.
It's not your turn, Patrick.
All right,
you keep your mouth shut. I lost my train of thought because of you. I don't know where I was.
You're talking about the vibe of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like there's parts of this movie where like you really don't know what's going on, and then there's times like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? Because it's got like nice like lull periods where like it's not like intense at all the time until like the very end where it's just like fucking hitting you and hitting you and hitting you and hitting you until you get to the end. You're like, what? That's my thoughts. I really fucking enjoyed this movie. Now Patrick, the man who hates everything again, he came back.
I actually enjoyed this movie.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was fucking with you the whole time.
Damn it, that's good. He got me, guys.
Yeah, he did.
I really thought Patrick. I was actually quite shocked that you said you didn't like it because I was like, he likes these kinds of movies. Like, what did he not? So I was actually quite curious to see what you didn't like about it.
So there is some things I did not like about it.
Of course,
and we're gonna dig deep in that as we continue talking about this because this movie, it's heavy. It's a fucking heavy movie, and it not only it's really effective, but there's some issues I have with the lore and kind of just how some things played out.
Okay.
So when we were hearing about this movie and we watched the trailers, which is again on our fault because we have this expectation of a movie that's
based off what we see in the trailers.
Yeah, and the thing is like, but that's not our fault. It's the marketing's fault because okay. It's hard to like get into it without talking about the heavy part about the movie.
Okay.
But I'm about to
just go ahead, just go.
So the movie's I'll start how this starts off. because it starts off beautifully. It's awesome. This great scene of like a dollhouse, and it zooms into a room.
God, that
and
fucking
then that's how the
camera
movie
work
plays
was
out.
beautiful.
Which told me a lot about the movie and how things are going to play out. A lot of the movie brings up like a lot of religious things and demonic shit.
Mm-hmm. It's pagan.
It's hard to I get why the marketing thing, like the trailer told us what to expect, because it's kind of hard to pitch this movie. In the sense of like it's hard, like with Mother, it was hard to pitch that type of movie to tell us what it was about because it's complicated.
Yeah,
it's a smart movie. This movie's very smart. This movie's very.
You don't leave when you watch it. If you left at any point during this movie to go pee, to refill your beverage, you probably missed something, and you probably should go rewatch it. And do not leave your seat. Because it's one of those movies where like you will miss something and it will fuck you up because you won't know what's going on.
My another problem is like the marketing told us it was
gonna be about Charlie.
No, well that yes, which it is for the most part. It is.
Oh yeah, it's Charlie.
I want to build up to
that.
that.
Your fucking ice, okay? I hate that. All right,
but the marketing also told us like this is our generation's Exorcist. Which could be true because it's not. I've seen that movie. I've seen The Exorcist. That's my It's for the younger generation that could potentially see this movie. This could be theirs.
I remember seeing that hype where it was The Exorcist. Like this is the modern Exorcist. Yes and no.
Yeah.
The Exorcist has a lot of things going on for it that really make that movie fucking iconic, and it will always be iconic, and it will always hold up because of the way they filmed it.
It's only one aspect of this movie that's kind of like The Exorcist.
Exactly. And that's towards the end with the mom.
And kind of like with the story of a demon.
Yes.
This is another possession film. What I knew going into it, I knew
different type of possession.
Yes. Yes. But I knew that going into this movie.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too upset with, because I'm kind of tired of the possession movies, but this did in a different way. It didn't do. This movie is on a nice border of art film and Hollywood mainstream horror.
Yeah, 100%.
Which plays well, especially with the third act of the movie. It's very, very Hollywood.
Oh yeah, you fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
There's the weird. Okay, so like, movie starts out. Grandma dies. Grandma's been sick. The main character, the mother, the daughter of the grandmother, is a talented miniature artist who's working on them.
She makes like these dolls, and
she makes miniatures.
She makes miniatures in like these settings. They're really cool, and she'll. She's a very
fucked up way of dealing with her grief.
Yeah.
So a lot of the like she's working on like this huge exhibit, but on top of that, she's working on things of her own life. So she's like building a set that shows her. You know, her grandmother being sick, her grandmother in hospice, her grandma dying, things like that. So it's healthy. That area of it was healthy. When we get to the second part of the movie, we're with Charlie and her brother. So Charlie's brother is a pothead to 100 extreme, but it's explained why he is the way he is.
Yeah,
he's really not a major concern to that family. Compared to Charlie.
And this is the problem I have with this movie, and it's not this atmosphere, but it doesn't pick a main fear or theme to stick with.
That's good, though.
It is good, but that comes with a problem.
No.
To some people, that how they look at movies, it'll come as a problem. It's hard to pitch this movie because it has it has a lot of elements put into it. It takes a lot from other movies and puts it into it.
It's not a hard movie to pitch, though, when you think about how successful it's being done. It was made. Yeah. If it was hard to pitch, no one would have picked up this movie. It's just
it's A24 though.
This movie is so crazy.
It's A24 though. We've had movies like this by them.
Theatrical, like national wide.
Yeah.
Widely.
But that's because A24 has been coming up to being a good studio.
But this movie is not hard to pitch. It got people in the seats. Its trailers were effective enough to be like, this movie is going to be very strange and out of this world, which is what everyone thought about it. That it made you want to go see it. That's how the marketing is. The marketing is fantastic. And they showed you nothing.
Yeah.
They showed you clips of like random snippets of the movie that a lot of it was in the movie. Some scenes weren't, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, the marketing in the sense of like showing you really not too much, but showing you enough to really pique your interest to make your ass get in that seat premiere night.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like this movie did fantastic in the box office, and it's still doing well. People are still talking about this movie.
Yeah,
People are still trying to decipher what the fuck they just saw, because like it's a possession film. Yeah, in the sense, like you know, the mom is grieving because shocker alert, Charlie dies.
Oh, we're just gonna
go right into that. So Charlie, I'm assuming that she is somewhere on the autism spectrum,
which is kind of cool that the movie does not truly explain what's wrong with Charlie.
Yeah, no, they don't.
We have our own.
I want to say that Charlie was when the mother had Charlie, she was older. She may have been a little past the age where women, when they start having children at certain ages, there's a lot of like chromosomal disorders that are at higher risk.
Yeah,
and that may be what's going on, because
well,
even
the thing
with the
is,
disfigurement,
Charlie was mostly raised by her grandmother, who is in the movie a cult leader for this
cult leader. She's a witch.
Yeah, for this cult that believes in this demon called
Paimon.
Paimon,
which was so cool.
Very cool, because they introduced a real demon that exists in mythologies and stuff like that, which, like The Exorcist, brought in forgot that demon's name, but he's a real demon too.
Yeah, so that's cool. I like that.
And if you look into the demon and what he represents, it
makes sense.
It mirrors the movie a little bit.
They probably built the movie based off his mythology.
So let's talk about the heavy scene of Charlie's death.
Yeah. So like the thing about me is, like, I thought Charlie was going to be like the main part of this movie.
Yeah. Which again is what was confusing in the movie, because I was mostly paying attention to Charlie and not a lot of things that were happening around Charlie or characters. I got into it. I saw it twice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was focusing my attention on the mom the entire time.
Okay.
And I knew for a fact that she was going to be...
She needs to be either nominated or something.
Oh, she better win something, because her acting in this movie was fucking phenomenal.
So in the movie, we developed that there's something wrong with Charlie.
Yep.
Socially, she's a weird kid.
Well, she's just socially awkward, probably due to her
deformity.
I'm pretty sure she's autistic, and they didn't just really go into it on top of other things. I mean, the tics make sense. The not really like being touched. Like she was also in a special classroom with other kids. She was so she's
breastfed by her grandmother.
Yeah, she Charlie in a sense is psychologically fucked up because of like her environment. Mm-hmm. So what happens is like the brother wants to go to a party, and his mom's like, "Take your sister with you," because he says it's a school event, like it's a school barbecue. Which
again, default by the mother, because it's either her mom's in denial of her daughter's like.
She did not. Because
it's not commented on at all in the movie, and like you wouldn't do that to your child if it had.
It kind of is at the dinner scene where he goes, "It's your fault too. You're the one who made her go." Yeah. Because it's never really touched on that about him killing his sister. He didn't really kill an accident. She ate peanuts. She's allergic. He's freaking out. He's stoned. He's driving as fast as he can. Charlie's freaking out in the back seat. She can't breathe. She opens the window to get some air. He sees a deer in the road, I think. A dead deer. So he swerves because that will fuck up your car. And the last thing he needs is his car to break down. Yeah. But unfortunately, when he swerves, he loses control. There's a telephone pole, and smack, boom, going like 80 miles an hour. Charlie's instantly decapitated. So his reaction, I loved.
Yeah, me too.
100% realistic, because you would not know what you're supposed to do.
No.
He's high. He's terrified. And he doesn't even really look. He knows something's wrong.
But he doesn't look.
But he kind of tries to glance, but he doesn't. He just drives off. He drives home, parks the car, goes upstairs, gets in bed, and leaves it for his mom to find, or someone to find in the morning.
And a lot of people are going to have problems with.
Really fucked up.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so but I understand.
So that whole scene, actually, for me, was like a real bummer.
Really?
Yeah, because not me personally, but I know people like Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Not with just with the social awkwardness and stuff like that. And I kind of just felt bad for her throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
and I felt terrible, especially the party scene, because one, she didn't want to be there. Two,
No.
her brother's kind of throwing her off because he's trying to get with this girl, and he's like, "Yo, I got some
he's
good
a
weed."
Shit.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
He is, but it's at the same time, he's he went to go to that party to get with that girl, to smoke her, and kind of just he's a teenager.
Yeah.
He's also dealing with other shit too.
He didn't want to bring his sister in the beginning. He's like, no,
and that was a bad call on the mom. I wouldn't either. If my
it
kid
was her way of not having her son drink and drive. And catch him in a lie. You know what? He should have. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't. And it's just the script and whatnot. He should have been like, "Oh, mom, it's for the older class."
That's the thing too. The mom, he tells the mom that it's a barbecue thing for the school, so she really doesn't know what kind of party it is.
Yeah,
but still, knowing that my kid's kind of socially fucked.
Yeah, no,
I would not try to push her into those type of situations,
unless you're there. Because
either that or
so
just
much could have
hanging
happened.
out with people her own age.
Yeah, I mean,
she did not fit in. She was even skeptical of eating the cake. She's like, "Oh no, that's for them," and he's like, "No, it's fine. Just eat it." He's just trying to push her away.
Get the fuck away from me, Charlie.
Yeah.
But I mean, but to go back towards where it's kind of addressed, there's a scene finally, a little while after Charlie's dead, and there's the funeral and everything where they're eating dinner, and the dad's cooked for them, and they're talking, finally addressing the fucking giant elephant in the room. And he goes Mom, it's your fault too. You made her come. And she loses it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think she came to terms with the fact that it was also no one was blaming him.
Mm-hmm.
His father wasn't blaming him. It was a fucking freak accident.
Yeah.
It's 100% what it was.
It happens.
But the mom, even though she wasn't blaming him, she still hated him.
Yeah, no.
She still blamed him for Charlie's death.
And I kind of want to break that down too. Charlie's scene, again, was a bummer, and it kind of lowered me to the movie where I couldn't come back from the movie.
Really?
I couldn't. I
was like, yo,
so
they fucking
everything else
decapitated her ass.
I know, and it was a really done scene, because most horror movies have the head chopping scine,
and they showed
ghost
the
ship.
Head. They showed the head.
The
too.
ghost ship does it well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of blows its load in the movie, but it does it. Final Destination does it with the head cutting scene. This, I think, is the best head chopping scene, because it was so effective and it was so emotional for me.
Yeah.
I went with a couple friends, even my friend, Lauren and Dom.
Yeah.
After that scene when she hits, her head gets hit, I look around the theater, everyone's kind of it was a really wow moment. It was kind of inside. I think it mirrors what happened with Psycho with the shower scene.
Oh, okay.
With the shock factor.
Yeah.
I looked around my theater, everyone's just it looked like time had froze. It was so fucking, and the theater was pretty packed.
Well, ours was full.
Yeah. And that scene for me brought down the movie, not in a bad way.
Yeah. For you personally.
For me personally, emotionally, it took me down, and I was bummed the fuck out.
It's because you were high.
That too.
Fucking bummed my high.
If you're having a bad day, don't see this movie, because it will.
No, not at all.
It didn't. Everything else happening from there on, I felt were very by the numbers and very it didn't affect me as it should have if that scene wasn't so impactful.
Really?
But it's supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
The third act to me was kind of.
I really enjoyed the third act.
Yeah, me too.
I really thought it was well done, and it really fucked with you because she's starting to fucking lose it. She makes a model of the accident.
Yeah,
which was really fucked. Really, that's not healthy at all.
Mm-hmm.
For her to make that is just no. That she needed to go see someone.
Yeah. But in the thing about the movie too, she does go to this group where a griefing group where she goes before right after the death of the grandmother.
Yeah, which was actually I like you bring that up. But go ahead.
But the dinner scene I particularly like because one, she kills it with the acting.
Oh yeah.
But it's not only the stress of losing Charlie, but later on in the movie you find out that she almost tried to kill Charlie and the older brother by putting
paint thinner
all over them and try to light them on fire. So her having an awkward relationship with her and her son.
Yeah.
Already from the get-go, like when the movie starts, there's like an awkward thing.
I want to point with that is because like when she goes to the first counseling meeting,
and she talks about her family's
talks about her family's past, and they all have some type of serious mental illness.
And I'm going to talk about that.
Or they have BPD, or they have this and that, dementia, which falls into the line hereditary.
Yeah.
So you're like, this conversation happens. So you're like, okay, are you the only one who didn't get something, or do you have a mental illness? And this movie makes you think like, is this fucking real? Because at any moment, I literally thought at the end of this movie they're gonna like fucking pan out of the dollhouse into a fucking white padded room, and it was gonna be her straight jacket.
Damn.
Like, and that, you know, all this was going on in her head because, you know, paranoid, schizophrenic,
yeah,
etc. Just because her family had a long line of mental illnesses. But it didn't do that. It gave you something even more batshit crazy. There's a dead body in the attic.
So that's the grandmother's body.
Was it? I thought it was Charlie's.
Because they say in the movie
they bring Charlie's.
So in the movie, they said the grandmother's grave was digged up.
Yes.
And that's who's in the house. So how
did they get there?
It's the cult.
Yes.
So naked old people.
Dude, he's just smiling.
Cool
he's just smiling.
Yeah. So the cool scene, all right, so the cool thing about this movie, seeing it the second time, is like you notice certain things that you weren't aware of in the first movie, or the first time watching it. The scene where she's going through her grandma's old stuff, and she sees her like right there staring at her.
Yeah.
I noticed that the first time, but it really freaked me out the second time.
Did it really?
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, I remember that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Grandma.
There's a lot of cool scenes like that in the movie where it will hold a shot there, and you won't see it until like
you're focusing on the person until you start really searching the screen, and you're like, oh shit, it's in the corner.
A character won't look somewhere, even though the character knows he's supposed to.
Yeah. And
you're just like, you're on the edge of your seat. This movie is very effective, but a lot of stuff is like it was taken from other movies and put into this movie. If it was me, the last movie I would compare it to is The Exorcist. It's more like Rosemary's Baby and like another movie called what is it called? Don't Look Now or some shit like that. There's a lot of like, because it's artsy fartsy type of movie, and this movie's kind of cool because it is a middle ground of mainstream horror mixed with art house.
Yeah,
and mashed together to a movie. Again, just that Charlie scene, it hit me so fucking hard. I really
enjoyed it. I was like,
I did too, because like they showed the head.
Yeah, and it was maggots and flies and shit.
So effective.
Yeah.
The beheading thing takes place because of the cult, I believe. Same thing with so the main character's brother, why he committed suicide. If you remember that being like when she talks about her family with the mental illness. Yeah.
Yes. It took me a moment there to connect it.
I think because the grandmother was the cult leader. I think she was trying to get a male's body.
Well, they wanted a male's body.
A young male's body.
Yes.
To transfer the demon.
It needs to be a male body.
Yeah.
That's why in the story, Charlie says something along the lines of, Grandma wanted me to be a boy.
Always wanted me to be a boy.
And that's why Charlie is almost dressed very tomboyish.
Yeah. And that's how I feel like the mother is aware of the cult. And that's why she kept her son away from the grandmother. And tried to kill both Charlie and the son so the cult wouldn't go through.
That's actually really fucking, bro. I didn't think.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
So, mother going crazy and all that shit is there's a reason. And then she actually does go crazy in the fucking movie in the third act.
Oh, dude, the most effective one, besides the man turning on fire, that was fucking cool. Like when when
the father dies.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
Which I think he was also beheaded.
I think so too.
Yeah. There's a lot of beheaded things because
it fits the.
Have you seen the symbol for Payman? It's throughout the whole movie. It's on the fucking pole.
Really?
When she dies, yeah. Which is I think that's why. Okay, so this movie, I'm gonna break it down for you.
Do it, Pat.
This is what I'm gonna think it is, because the movie starts off with the dollhouse, right?
Okay.
This is gonna be hard to buy. I believe everything that happens in the movie is pre-planned by the cult. And I think the movie tells you that in the beginning when it pans to, a house because it's like, so everything's kind of like placed
Yes.
together for a reason.
Yes.
And I believe the beheading scenes are meant to be there. Like Charlie was meant to be beheaded.
Yes.
And I think it's part of like the sacrifice to get Payman to go into what's his face's body.
Yes.
Because the father's also beheaded. The grandmother's beheaded.
The mother's beheaded.
Yeah, she does the fucking slicing thing.
That was so creepy. And then she started speeding up, and I started dying.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to laugh. And I think that was intended to make you kind of laugh, to kind of like give you a break from all of the.
I had no breaks in this fucking movie. What do you mean? This movie's all around just does not hold your hand.
Yeah. I loved when Payman finally comes over because Charlie is in her brother's body. No. You had to chew fucking ice. Like, we're mid-episode, and you just had to put a fucking cube of ice in your mouth to take this dramatic pause before I break it down. You ready?
So the demon was inside the mother.
Okay.
Which killed the father.
Okay.
So was the demon inside the dad too? I don't know.
Okay, listen.
Cut that, whatever.
No, so the dad died because the book was connected to Charlie.
Yeah.
In the sense they thought it was Charlie, it wasn't. It was Payman. It was the demon. Charlie was there though. In
what aspect though?
She was in the corner when she was actually there going.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was her. Like her spirit was actually there.
I think that was also forewarning because the demon was coming. Maybe.
I think so. I think Charlie was trying to warn them something was coming. Especially insert ball drop. Come on. That's like a head rolling, literally. So I think that was Charlie's spirit of a way because
this movie's confusing as hell.
The movie is super confusing, and which is so fucking great because you get to have these long conversations about like what does it really mean. I love to get a director's commentary from this guy.
Yeah, me too.
And where you watch the film and he's literally just explaining to you everything. I want that. One of the things I was talking about earlier with the scares was like her banging on the fucking attic door was so fucking cool.
Oh, the mother, yeah, that was so cool. Really, really cool. Really, again, but it played the Hollywood ending.
It's Hollywood,
but
fuck
yeah,
who cares? You're gonna get Hollywood. No
you
matter
give me
what.
artsy fartsy, you give me Hollywood. You pick.
No, you got both, and you got a great movie.
I appreciate it for that. And it's gonna sound like I hate this movie. I fucking love this movie because it's making me think about these, like think about it in this way, and think about movies in a different way, especially with modern horror where it's going now.
Yeah.
Especially like again, this movie is a great example of a modern horror movie, but I feel like it's gonna be here and not live on. Like 20 years, we're not gonna be talking about this movie.
I mean.
I don't think
I'll be
so.
like, you guys remember that movie Hereditary? That movie was crazy.
I think it borrows way too much from other movies that may have did it a little better.
Nah, dude, Rosemary's Baby's not a great film.
What?
Get out of here. It's a fun watch, but it's not a great film by any means. I think Stillborn may have done it better. Hate me if you want. I'm not a huge fan of Rosemary's Baby. It's a good movie to watch, but it's not like my all-time favorite. I don't think like it holds up in the cinema legends. This movie did a lot. I swear to God, you and that fucking ice. Stop.
It's my click. It's my.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I can't stop chewing ice.
That's bad for your teeth, Patty.
I don't care.
I like the very drastic day to night changes.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
Oh, the scene where it shows the house and then like it's daytime, then it's nighttime, and then you see all the naked people around the house.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
I mean, throughout the whole movie, they do this like where it's like it's dark and then it's night. I mean, then it's daytime. I love that. I think that was really cool. I thought that was really weird. It kind of makes you think about, is this real? The sound design. This movie's sound is
very quiet.
No, I mean the sound effects were intense
and very intense.
Very
there's
low
scenes where
string
really,
instruments where like it's grinding on the string and there's just weird noise.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you uneasy. Yes, it is a quiet movie as well.
The scenes I'm talking about, like it's when the mom's in the corner of the room. It's towards the last act, and it's very quiet, and I love it because it's like not a typical Hollywood thing to do. Is to stay in a shot for a very long time. Because I felt like I was in that shot for like 5 minutes, Could have been 2, whatever. But it was like silent. It was kind of like what the effective way that A Quiet Place uses like no noise.
Mm-hmm.
And they use it effectively to where it's like it's freaking you out because you're like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
Because music, mostly movies and music, tell you how to feel.
This music, the sound design for this movie is to make you uneasy.
Very uneasy.
It's haunting. It's creepy.
Same thing with the imagery in this movie.
It's every synonym of horror and uneasy that you could think of, because it's string instruments and other weird things that are being played.
And the multiple fears inside the movie is effective because like you can kind of pick what scares you in the movie.
I think that's very
to me. It's a family trauma that's more scary than the
demon, the
demon
demon
stuff.
aspect of it.
Yeah,
I think the multiple fears, if done effectively, is a great way to do something instead of focusing on one. When you focus on one, it gets boring sometimes.
Yeah,
unfortunately, there's just nothing like it's just like hitting a dead horse with a hammer.
Which is why I think it was.
That is the worst analogy I've ever come up with.
Jesus.
I think if it's done correctly, multiple fears in a movie are great.
Yeah.
It makes you pull. It makes you more people relate to certain things that maybe so like the family trauma may not hit with me more than it hit with you, but the demon aspect of it is really something I love and something you don't care about.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the end of this movie. I think the end of this movie is fucking fantastic when it's like all hell Payman, and it's just slowly panning out of the fucking of the treehouse, and there's this crazy statue, and I'm sitting there, and mind you,
that fucking scene.
We bought an extra ticket last minute, so I had previously bought 2 tickets for me and my wife, and then Jake and his girlfriend Sabrina bought 2 tickets next to us. Then our friend Kami wanted to come, so we bought a ticket there, and there was 1 ticket same row at the end. So it was like I got E4 and 5, he got 2 and 3. It was E10. There was 1 person sitting next to Sabrina. And when they got there, I asked them if they would mind moving, and they said no. And I was like, would you mind moving if it's the same seat, but just on the other end? Mind you, we're both on the back row. It's just she was in 1, I was in 10. So I was like, would you mind sitting at 10? My friends are all sitting here. Whatever. She wouldn't. So I sat by myself next to some smelly person. It was awful.
Oh,
it was so bad.
How bad?
Dude, it was bad.
Like balls?
Like anytime they lifted their elbow, the arm,
BO.
Dude, it was rancid. But I'm sitting there and I'm like talking to myself, like whispering, I'm like, they're bringing my boy Lucifer in here. And I was like, any movie that brings any type of satanic element to it automatically like jumps up on the scorecard.
Yeah.
And when they do it effectively and well.
Yeah.
This movie took the time to really understand the mythology of the demon and the way it was supposed to be represented, and I love the fact that it has some Hollywood in it, but I feel like you're never gonna get a mainstream Hollywood movie that does that pan out of that fucking house where like it's just the fucking 4 walls and a roof with naked people laying.
Well, we're gonna see it more often now.
Maybe not.
You never know.
People pulling out and they're just saying hell payment, and then it just ends abruptly right then and there.
So
they sell hell payment, and then it cuts out, and you're just like,
I have a problem with the ending of this movie.
Why?
Not what happens, but the exposition of the voice telling you exactly what the fuck happened in the movie. You know what I mean? When they transferred the soul of the demon into the boy, and then all of a sudden it's that cutscene of someone talking, who you don't know who the fuck is talking. I think it's the grandmother or something.
Oh,
but
I think that was cool as fuck.
What? That was
You don't
bad.
like things explained to you?
No. If you were paying attention at all to the fucking movie, you caught on what the hell was going on.
Yeah, but I think the added element of someone explaining certain things to you that really weren't explained to you in the movie.
I came to that conclusion when I got to that scene, though.
Yeah, but you were now structured in your conclusion with more.
Because I was with someone, they're like, "What's that light?" And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the demon. Cool scene too was the fucking him banging his own head on the fucking desk.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that shit the entire time.
I was like, this is
I was
so
like,
sick.
when does it happen? Every time I saw a desk and him, I was like, oh buddy, here we go. Here we fucking go.
And I feel like the movie, because that scene, the cut voice, seemed like it was like an after effect type of thing after they show some testing of the movie, and people were like, oh, we don't know what it means, and then they're like, well, we need an exposition voice.
No, because I mean, it was well written, and it wasn't like...
That doesn't mean anything.
It fit.
Yeah. If that's what it is to you, by all means.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying.
We're going to disagree on this movie, and that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's because
that just makes good contact.
You're stupid, and I hate you.
Whatever. I don't like it when it's explained, when it's like...
But this movie doesn't everything to you. It just explains the last part. Everything else, you're still like, what the fuck?
But everything to this point is a build-up to that.
Like, how did the thing become? When did Payman come?
I feel like it's
the first time when he made...
Hereditary, it could be a generational thing.
No. Nah.
It's a grandmother. She's a fucking cult leader.
She's dead, though, so, like, there's no... You can't do anything when you're dead.
And I think the mom knew what the hell was going on, tried to stop it, couldn't do it, got possessed.
But when? When is what I'm telling you. Can you tell me when? When did the possession actually happen?
When she went to that fucking lady that met her at the
so at her house. So you think that's when it happened? When she
summoned the demon with the fucking
chalkboard?
Yes.
So that's when you think
it's the chalkboard. Was it the chalkboard?
Well, there's two different seances.
The seance where the other lady that I think is part of the cult,
she is a part
shows
of the cult.
her how to talk to how to talk to Charlie, and then her going to talk to Charlie. I don't think that was Charlie. I think that was the Payman demon.
Well, it wasn't Charlie. It was supposed to be her grandson. In the first seance, when she goes to the lady's house, when she talks to...
Yeah, no, I'm talking about when she goes home and shows...
With her family.
When she shows...
Her son and her father.
What the new trick is.
Yes, they weren't talking to Charlie at all.
No. It was Payman, and I think that's when it started... when shit started going around with the mother.
I mean, the mother's losing her shit before all that.
And I think she just followed what the cult was doing. Get the boy, put the demon inside of him, start all hell. This movie's super confusing, and you have to do your homework. Payman is a demon that I did some research on him. It's like he's with the arts.
Okay.
Like he's influenced with art and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which explains in the movie, like, one, the mom's a professional artist. Like she makes these little... She makes
miniatures.
And Charlie does too.
Yes.
She
cuts a goddamn bird's head off.
Hers are more chaotic, and I guess it shows like the differences of what they create, because Charlie also draws like these crazy things that kind of predict stuff that happens in the movie. But her stuff is more found objects and then put together as like these structures, which is kind of cool.
Her mother's is pre-bought, filed down, painted.
And
that
I think
bird
it's because the mom
was fucking brutal, and I loved every second of it. I was like, they did not make this go by fast, and I appreciate that. I hate when they do something fast.
Felt all these vegan buttholes just cringe at that scene.
I just want to see the bird get its head cut off for at least 5 minutes. Just give me that, please. No, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, me
like
too.
I said, it does have its flaws in it. They're not huge at all. That's honestly. Again, we got another movie that's really fucking out there. That's like unlike most movies. It's following the same trope.
I like it that it's following what The Witch did.
Oh yeah,
which is done by the same company.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see more horror movies go more of this direction.
Yeah,
because of A24.
Because they're successful.
Yes,
because they see now that The Conjuring and Insidious and The Purges and
that's fine and all, but let's talk about some real shit.
Like everyone likes those movies and they make money, but like. It Follows, It Comes at Night, A Quiet Place, Get Out, fucking The Witch.
I compare it to The Babadook.
Yes.
Very much so, because
it's dealing with a mental illness.
And it's dealing with a mother with grief. A lot of grief.
Yes, this is a very grief-dealing movie.
A lot of growth, a lot of grief, a lot of guilt.
A lot of shit. There's a lot going on. I would love to do a commentary video.
We totally should. When it comes out on DVD,
the Blu-ray, I'm buying that shit.
We should record us watching the commentary.
Yeah,
we should do a commentary of a commentary
of
a horror movie.
Of a horror movie. Just because I would love to see it in my own home so I can stop, rewind. I love that element where you can be like, oh, what was that? Rewind and fucking kind of see things, reimagine things. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things, even after watching a second time, that you really don't pick up on until you watch it a third time.
Yeah,
because there's just little hints and things, and like the writing on the wall. What was it? What does it mean?
I didn't get much into that.
Were they protection spells? Yeah. Were they the cult inside the house riding. It doesn't go into it, so you're like, what the fuck is it? What does it mean? I would love to learn more about that.
The last thing I want to mention is the last scene where you see the ritual.
Yes.
And the statue that they made out of, I think it's Charlie's head on it. Mm-hmm. If you see the payment symbol, it looks like it's like a cartoon, like people, like 4 heads, like 4 dudes.
Okay.
I wish they did something with that, with the 4 heads of the family.
Ooh.
That would have been way cooler. But
I like the whole kneeling down headless thing.
Yeah.
And the straight old man dick you saw for a good 2-3 minutes.
Which were creepy dudes, and they were at the funeral too, which I picked up on. I saw. And they were staring at a chart. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, that was weird.
Dude, yeah. He was the one that's smiling in the closet, too.
Yeah.
Movie's great. If you haven't seen
creepy.
it and you literally listen to us talk about this movie, I'm sorry, because we spoiled a lot of this movie, so you should probably stop listening and just go see it. But for those of you who have seen it and who have, watched, ending explained videos or explanation videos or more, and you have a different insight or perspective from what you saw and you would like to tell us, we would love to hear what you have to think about this movie. You can literally write us 5 paragraphs. I will read all of it and I will respond to you. Because I do want to know what you guys think, and I think it's important to hear what other people think about movies like this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone has a different idea and a different perspective and a different way to explain what we saw.
Yeah.
Because Jake, our buddy Jake, has a completely different outlook on this movie, and so does my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what they think.
Yeah. And I'm sure Dylan he fucking called me like 1 a.m. to talk to me about this movie. So like I said, shoot us an email. We would love to hear what you guys have to think about this movie.
If you guys want us to do another review with those guys,
yeah. If you guys want Dylan and Jake back on the show, let us know. We'll be back in our regular recording studio in a week actually, so we'll be able to have more guests on the show. But yeah, just let us know. We want to see, and if there's any other obscure, like creepy, weird movies out there that are like Hereditary and The Witch that maybe we haven't seen yet, because sometimes they are hard to find, or they're just independent movies that really don't make it, to the mass public eye
or to our radar.
Let us know, because we're down to watch these weird, strange, smart movies where you kind of have to pay attention to everything that's going on to understand the entire picture. But just drop us an email and tell us what you think.
What's your Rotten Tomatoes? What's your Horror Junkies rating?
9.5.
9.5?
9.5.
Okay.
How about you, Pat?
I give it an 8.
Give it an 8? That's still a solid number.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for us, guys. We hope you like this bonus episode this week. It's a little different from our main shows this week, where we're talking about Disney movies. Kind of get you, a little both.
We didn't want to change the vibe of this month.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We decided to do a separate video, which we might start doing when we do these wide release movie reviews that we do.
We'll see.
We'll
let you guys know.
We're having a meeting.
We're having the meeting of things. But other than that, guys, it's been another fun episode. We love having you guys. Hit us up. Let us know. We'll see you next week when we do something weird.
And crazy.
Huh.
Little hint there.
Stay weird, everyone. Bye.